The 10th best play of the 2024 season is...
Mooney moving. That's fired, that's caught, and that is Hodge, and Hodge is going to take it to the end zone. A most improbable win for the Atlanta Falcons.
Now, rather than just showing you the X best play of the season and moving on to the next one, I'm actually going to explain the play and break down why it's important, what the variables and different things are in the play, and why it's so cool. So starting with this play, you look at the formation of the offense and the defense. Starting with the offense, it's in a pistol set for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, you might be asking, what is a pistol set? Well, a pistol set is when the quarterback lines up not behind the center or under center, you could say, instead a couple yards behind, but the quarterback also has the running back or the halfback behind the quarterback. So it's a little bit different from a shotgun set where the quarterback is behind a couple yards from the center, but then that set, the running back is right next to the quarterback rather than behind. So this is a pistol set, and then you see it's a 4 receiver set as well with no tight end lining up on the line of scrimmage. And you see the 2 on the top and the 2 on the bottom. One of the ones on the top is Kyle Pitts in the slot. He's the guy closest to the line of scrimmage rather than the receiver further. And then on the bottom of the screen, you have those 2 receivers as well. Now, if you want to know depth chart-wise who's who on the offensive side, you have their number 1 running back in Bijan Robinson lining behind their, at the time, number 1 quarterback, Kirk Cousins. And then at the top of the screen, you have number 34, the shorter guy, Ray McLeod, who is more of a special teamer, but also wide receiver, lower on the depth chart. You have Kyle Pitts, who's their top tight end. And then on the bottom of the screen, you have number 1, Darnell Mooney, who's their wide receiver number 2. And then number 12, Kadarius Hodge, who's probably their wide receiver 4 or 5, somewhere on there on the depth chart, kind of around where Ray McLeod sits. Now, looking over on the defensive side of the ball, this looks straight up like man coverage. And the reason it looks like man coverage, and first, what is man coverage? It's simple, like in every sport. Man on man, meaning each player guards one player, and they're going to follow him wherever they go. That's man on man coverage. Now, the reason it looks like that is because the defensive players are aligned pretty close to the offensive players in what looks to be a man formation. Now, you also, if you look to the right, you have that one player who's a little bit further than the rest. That looks like a roaming free safety, meaning that he's just going to watch the quarterback and go wherever the eyes of the quarterback go, meaning this defensive set looks right now like a cover 1 man concept, meaning you have the 4 rushers and then the rest of the guys, the linebackers and DBs, are going to cover the running backs and receivers, and then you have the 1 free safety who's going to go wherever he thinks he needs to go. Now, the interesting thing about this Tampa defense is that they are known under the Todd Bowles scheme for really disguising well. So even though it looks like man coverage, it could totally be a completely different concept and different play, just because he is really good at scheming defenses to look like it's one thing and it's another, to confuse quarterbacks and cause turnovers. But what Kirk Cousins does, which a lot of teams do now to kind of uncover that mask of the defense disguise, is put a guy in motion. And you see here, Darnell Mooney goes in motion, running towards quarterback Kirk Cousins. And you see on the flip side of the ball, the defensive player following him, making it really obvious that it's man coverage, because if it was a zone concept, you wouldn't follow him like that. And then Darnell Mooney goes back to where he initially started, and the play snaps. Snap meaning that's the start of the play. The ball goes to the quarterback, and you see the guys starting to run routes. Now, here I'll pause it because you'll see that you have Kyle Pitts open in the middle of the field, and you have Kadarius Hodge in a spot where he is going to get the ball, but he looks a little covered. And you might be wondering, why don't they feed the ball to Kyle Pitts over the middle? Now, again, let's go back to that free safety who is in the middle there, who's just simply going on the eyes of the quarterback and looking to see where he needs to go. If that throw is made to Kyle Pitts at that moment, that free safety is going to run as fast as he can to Kyle Pitts and hit him extremely hard, probably dislodging the ball, or going to make Kyle Pitts hurt simply because of physics. He's going to put a lot of force to Kyle Pitts, who's not putting equal force that way. You could call that a hospital pass. That is one of those plays where now you might see it a little bit more, where those throws in the middle, but the defensive player is not allowed to hit as hard as they used to, whereas 10, 20 years ago, that's where the big collisions were, and it's your job as a quarterback, especially Kirk Cousins as a veteran quarterback, to not make those kind of hospital passes, so that way their players stay healthy. So now he throws the ball, you can see, to Kadarius Hodge, and you see he throws it towards his left shoulder of the receiver. meaning that the ball is out of the range of the diving defensive player, as you see here, who tries to swat the ball, so that way the receiver can catch it and hopefully, complete a reception. Now, you might be asking why this play versus other plays. This is a first down play, so really on first down you can call whatever you want, and keep in mind this is an overtime as well. They've already had a lot of plays and their division rivals, so you want to get any yard you can just because each side knows each other so well. And then you see the real beauty of this play. Kadarius Hodge outruns all the defenders. If you see here, about 5 guys can emerge and make a tackle. Of course, not all of them are going to be as fast as Kadarius Hodge, who's a wide receiver, but he outruns everyone to get in the end zone to win the game in overtime. I think the final score like 36-30, a track meet on a Thursday night. And you might be asking, well, why do none of the defenders get a hand on him? And it makes sense, because if you think about it, again, this is a Thursday night game in the middle of the season. It's already a 30-30 game, meaning there's already been a ton of offense. So that defense is already tired because they didn't get to fully recover from previous Sunday when they played. And also, it's the end of the game in overtime. So they're like extra tired on this play, or on this drive, really, and that's tailored to the offense. Then you have Kadarius Hodge, who is a receiver lower on the depth chart, meaning that he's going to have fresher legs than a guy higher on the depth chart. And you can see in the play, he's pretty fast. And he outruns everyone to win the game in a big game, divisional game for the Falcons on a Thursday night. It was a great play. It was super fun. And it is the 10th best play of the 2024 regular season. Like and follow for more.